Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this video is going to be about the gangsters and the thugs sitting around while there's 44 states with child marriage. The gangsters and the thugs sitting around while there's 44 states with child marriage. Well, you should have knew you was gonna come into the mix because you got all the politics in the world, but when it comes to this 44 states with child marriage, you absolutely MIA concerning the politics. You supposed to you listen. Real gangsters are aware of the politics in their country and community, right? They're aware of the state of their country. They're aware of the state of their world, the real ones, the big ones. So why you got 44 states with child marriage in your country and you don't know nothing about it? That's why all the big honchos, head honchos, head honchos don't know they got 44 states with child marriage. That's 7 hour. Because you quick to go find them and bring them and present them. And you know what I'm going to present to them? 44 states with child marriage. That's 7 hour. Yeah, all these gangs and all these people that like to walk around puffed up and with their chest out. Tuck your chest in, man. They got 44 states for child marriage. Tuck your chest in, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't care nothing about your reputation. Nobody don't care nothing about where you come from or how hard you are or the streets you live on. You know what I'm saying? 44 states got child marriage and we don't care nothing about you. Because you know why? Because you're just another number after all. Well, you think you're powerful, you think you're this and that and the third, but at the end of the day, you're just another number. And you proved it because you don't know what's going on in your country. You're just another dumb, brainwashed American. You're just another cattle. You're just another cow within the cattle. Hey, who you mad at? Me and yourself. I don't care how much money you make. You don't know about what's going on in your country concerning these kids. And you be the first one in line talking about what you're going to do to these child molesters, what you're going to do to these rapists, and what you're going to do with all these perverts. You be the first one talking about it. But these American gangsters, American thugs, all of them, that's including rappers too. That's including you too. They act like they the hardest thing that we've ever seen in their lives, in our lives. But ain't none of them telling you about 44 states with child marriage. With all their legend stories and all their legend energy and auras and vibrations and all their legend history, they ain't telling you what I'm telling you. That's why I'm a revolutionary. Understand my lane. Don't compare me to the likes of those thugs and gangsters. That's what you've been doing. You've been trying to make them pull up. What they pulling up for? What they pulling up for when you got 44 states of child marriage in your country? What are they pulling up for? Make it make sense. What are they pulling up for? Huh? Because I tell them the truth and they're going to want to go kill themselves when I tell them the truth. You bringing them around me trying to read me and trying to see who I am. I don't know why. What that got to do with the fact that you got 44 states with child marriage? That's all what we talk about now. So why they pulling up? Pulling up to see what? You don't need to worry about who I am, buddy. You need to worry about why your country got 44 states of child marriage. That's what you need to worry about. That's what you need to worry about. You don't need to know nothing about me. But yeah, here you are, pulling up on me, and it doesn't make sense to me. You don't know nothing about this stuff going on, but you pulling up, and you got people pulling up with these thugs and gangsters, the people you think that's the toughest and the baddest and are the most able, with the highest intuition. They have so much intuition, but they ain't able to see this child marriage going on now, are they? That's what I'm telling you, man. That's what I'm telling you. Ain't no need to bring that for future reference. I'm saying just like that. For future reference, ain't no need to come bringing no thugs around me and gangsters around me. Okay? I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. You don't need to bring no gangster women or no gangster no gangster men around me when you got 44 states with child marriage and they sitting around here submitted to it because they don't know it or they ain't doing nothing about it. Both of them are submissions. Both of them are submissions. Well, if you that dumb and you don't know your surroundings, then I don't even consider you really a gangster. Well, a gangster know what's going on. A gangster knows the politics of his environment, his or her environment. A gangster knows what's going on in their, and even in their government. The real big gangsters. I don't know dumb gangsters that sit around and don't know what the politicians doing. The big ones. I'm talking about the big ones. I ain't talking about these nickel and diamond gangsters. I'm talking about the real gangsters, the movers and the shakers. How come you don't know about 44 states with child marriage? Huh? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. When it really comes to who's who on a real level, put yourself in my shoes. How you think I should see you? Nah, these real laws, bro. These real laws. How should I see you? How would you, if you were me and you knew about this information of 44 states with child marriage in America, you have the real image of America. Everybody else don't. How would you feel if you was me? I'm supposed to show respect. I'm supposed to respect you with something as life-changing as that, where I see the real image of America, not this fake image that you have in your head of entertainment and rap and all of this stuff and making money and Cash App and all that. That's all you got in your head. That's just like a teenager or something. That's all you got in your head, bro. I don't respect anyone that can sit up and call themselves gangsters and don't know the surrounding areas and don't know the politics and the laws of their country. Acting like they defending kids, acting like they defending the community, but how can you even start to do that when you don't know about this information? That's what I'm saying. So see, that's what separates the revolutionaries from all these thugs and gangsters. See, that's the difference between y'all and Tupac. Tupac wanted to be like revolutionaries. He wanted to be like people that change things, that expose things, which change things. That told the truth, which changed everything. Which stood up for the truth, which changed everything. Because at the end of the day, most thugs and gangsters know ain't really nothing to being a gangster or a thug. The only people infatuated with it is the people that ain't never been around no thugs and gangsters. The only people that think it's so impressive are the people that ain't never been around it. Once you be around it, to whatever degree you're around it, you start to realize everybody's doing the same thing. Getting high, making money, having sex, going to the clubs, going to the bars. That's it. That's all you're doing. You're not changing the system. You're not changing the government. You're not changing the surroundings. All you're doing is smoking, getting high, going to clubs, going to bars. That's it. And you wonder why I feel some type of way. It should be no mystery. That's why I don't want nobody who think they thugs and gangsters coming my way again. Because it's offensive to real principles and real life. You know what I mean? You know none of them don't know what I know. So it ain't no need for them to even try to just overstep boundaries. We have to have boundaries for real life. Real stuff that's real life. That's on a higher level than thugs and gangsters. It's just like some thugs and gangsters coming to Malcolm X. It's not even, how do I put it? It's not even real life because according to his caliber, how could you even approach that man? Yeah, how could you even approach that man? Okay, you can be ratchet. You can be an ignorant, ratchet person. But in all actuality, when you consider principles and you consider information and you consider all these elements that you do not have and that you have not done, how can you approach that man? When it comes to real manhood, that's it right there. When it comes to real manhood, how can you approach that man? Ha. Huh? When it comes to real manhood, how can you approach him? And that's what separates the men from the boys and the girls from the women. You can't even approach somebody like me. You got child marriage. I'm the one exposing it. I'm the one been exposing it for over a year now on a higher, and you ain't, what you been doing? Same stuff that you've been doing since the 90s. Making money, turning up, going to these bars and clubs, you know what I'm saying? Going around with your ghetto fame. Right? Listen, man. Listen, the most ignorant thing somebody can do is try to pull up on a revolutionary. That's the most ignorant nigga stuff I've ever seen in my life. And when I say nigga, I mean ignorant. See, black people, we do have a definition of what of nigga. And it's ignorance. That's the main one. If you come up with some nigga stuff and on a revolutionary, someone that's revealing these things to concerning the government and concerning what's going on in the community, concerning these police, you are actually one of the most ignorant types of niggas there is. And I'm gonna tell you just like you need to hear it. I'm gonna tell you that's exactly how you need to hear it. That's exactly how you need to hear it. Because it's two different worlds. A world that you ain't even in. You ain't even in my world. Where you at in my world? When you don't know nothing about 44 states for child marriage, where are you in my world? Oh, I'm in your world. I'm talking all about it. But how are you talking about the world I'm in? How are you involved in the world I'm in? That's why we got to get all of that high school politic drama stuff that these little girls and boys like. We got to get all of that out the way so you'll realize I don't have to answer to none of them fools that you got out there. I don't have to date in my world. They do not exist in my world. I'm going to call it like it is. Well, you listen, you don't know what I know, so how you exist in my world? Huh? So you exist in my world, but you don't know what I know. So how are you here then? How are you here? What position you play? None, right? That's what I'm saying. See, with the revolutionary, we in our own world, literally. Well, who's here? Who's here? Who's playing a position in my world? The enemies are a joke. The enemies are a joke. Oh, you thought they was in my world. You thought they was in a contest with me. How are they in my world? When we manifest and even your president is in trouble, they find the documents on him twice. You got a new strain of COVID-19. That's for the community. How are you in my world? When we manifested, when the kingdom of God is manifesting on that level. Man, you can't be serious. Gangsters can't do that. Can gangsters beat their enemies that bad like that? When you got everybody under fire, even including your president, the head man. Yeah, look at it for what it is. Y'all posed me as the enemy. That's y'all. Listen, that's your president. Not mine. Listen, and he's under fire. I know you want to ignore it because it's the victory. It's showing you the kingdom of God ain't playing no games. Now I told you, you got church people. That's any religion that's not spirituality. True connection with the true and living God. That's religion. You got church people. I'm not no church man. I'm connected to the true and living God. I'm connected to real spirituality. That's what you first need to understand. Well, what church do we go to? You don't need to, listen, bro. You sound like a cornball. Don't worry about what church I go to. I'm connected to real spirituality. I'm connected to the living God. I got angels protecting me. That's what these dumb idiots don't know around here. There's angels all in this whole neighborhood, everywhere, getting things done all throughout this country. Yeah, this is big leagues. You ain't even in my league, buddy. You in your league and I'm in mine. I fight against the satanic kingdom, which you are not. You work for the satanic kingdom. I fight the satanic kingdom. You a worker, buddy. I fight the boss man. Understand the difference. You a worker and I fight the boss man. That's the best way to put it. And I'm getting results. Look at your country. Told you, man. See, that ain't nothing but black foolishness. And I'm gonna be 100 when I say that. Because the first thing you want to do when you see a young black man, you see him tough, you see him strong, you see him standing like a man, you want to go get thugs and gangsters. Yeah, I'm offended by that. Because first of all, I'm not in their world. You see me selling drugs? So it's racist to me. Oh yeah, black people can be racist. Why are you bringing thugs to a man that don't sell drugs? Why are you bringing gangsters to try to see who I am and they don't live in my world and understand my world? So what they coming to see? Yeah, that's racist. You think gangsters can see every black man? They can't see me? How you gonna see me and I know more than you know? Man, come on, bro. You can't see me. You ain't been seeing me. Hey, everyone that tried was wrong, so it proves my point. They couldn't see me. Okay, why they wrong then? If they could see me, why are they wrong? Why are they wrong? Make it make sense. You think I be saying this to be arrogant? You can't perceive me. You can't perceive who I am, which means you can't see me. That's what it means. You think I'm being arrogant. You think, see, I can take a saying from your world and make it make more sense than you can make it make. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, you can't see me. You can't perceive who I am. Well, if you did, then why are you in the situation you're in? Now you're in regret. Now you're in regret. You know why you're in regret? Because you couldn't see me. That's why you're in regret. You know why you're in regret? Because you couldn't perceive who I am. Yeah, so you just went with the stuff that you know. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, that street foolishness. That's what you went with. That nigga stuff. You went with that. Yeah, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Ain't no thugs and gangsters able to pull up on no revolutionary. It's two different lanes. And there's too many angels and there's too many people that would take you out considering that I am an asset to the whole overall world. You know the stuff I'm talking about these days? Have you been listening to me lately? Have all you ratchet people been listening to my come up? Hey, have you been listening to my come up? I'm showing people how Russia don't got child marriage. China don't got child marriage. Russia never oppressed black people. Russia never had any racist system that oppressed Africans. That's my come up. You got child marriage, Russia don't, and China don't got it. That's the facts. Three years ago, America made another child marriage law. That's my come up. You got any of these gangsters talking about that? You got any of these gangsters talking about that? Any thugs talking about that? Then listen, bro. You in a whole different world. You don't even belong here. That's what I'm trying to show you. Before you embarrass yourself and embarrass your manhood. You don't even know this stuff that I'm talking about. First of all, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You're a human being to me. You're a human being that grew up just like I did. That's all that matters to me. And listen, you don't know this information. This information is vital to the real image of America. Let's understand that. The information that I'm talking about changes the image of who this country is. It changes the reality of what this country is. It shows the true image of this country, right? It's not information that, it's talking about the people. I'm talking about information that changes the image of America. You got the difference? Do you understand the difference? Okay. So that's what makes me revolutionary. Because I have revolutionized through the truth the real image that's of America that is in front of you. I revolutionized the American image in front of you. I revolutionized the true image of America to show you, and you've seen now that what the true America is. That's a revolution. Because nothing can be the same ever again. How? How can it be the same? So you fail to realize how real this is. I said you fail to realize how real this is. I know you think it's a gimmick because you grow up in the YouTube world, and I just use YouTube as a tool. Yeah, you Happy Meal eating YouTube people. I'm not. Yeah, you got me twisted with the rest of these fools out here, these cornballs. I'm just using it for a tool. That's what I'm doing. Just like I'm using Facebook for a tool. Listen. I used to network on these social media platforms, but I never became part of them. Maybe that's why I didn't work out. Because I never became part of them. I was a teenager in the 90s. We didn't have no YouTube. We didn't have no Facebook. We didn't have no phones. We didn't have no cell phones. That's what you got to understand. I was a teenager in the 90s. My last teenage year was the year 2000. That was the last year I was 19. That was the last year I was a teenager. I was 19. 2001, I was 20 years old. When 9/11 happened, I was 20. I was 20 on the dot. That's why my generation is the only hope. We seen 9/11 happen. I was 20 years old when 9/11 happened. I was in my prime. Half of y'all wasn't even born. Y'all wasn't even born. So you're not part of the discussion. You're not part of this discussion when in the 9/11 you wasn't even born. That's why I don't deal with children. I'll spank your children. I don't deal with children. You understand me? If you wasn't alive in 9/11 when September 9/11 happened, me and you can't even talk, bro. Come on, man. You can't even talk to me. You can't even see me, bro. I was 20 years old when that happened in 9/11, right here in New York City, right here where I'm at now. I was 20 years old watching that. I was in my prime, and that changed our perspective. Most people that was my age when 9/11 happened, we feel the need to go to war. That's what we feel the need. Now, whoever becomes the enemy, that's what it is. But that people that was in their 20s when the 9/11 happened, we formed this mentality like we'll have to go to war. That's why our generation is different from all these kids now and all these people, older people. The Generation X is that's the generation I come from. That's the generation I come from. We come from a very unique timeline as far as American history. Like I said, I was 20 years old when 9/11 happened. So imagine how a 20-year-old thought, as opposed to someone that's 8 or 9 or 50 years old when they can't do nothing. 20 years old, seeing the trade centers fall down, that changed that changed how you was formed as a young man. Turned us into soldiers. We was the youth, in other words, when 9/11 happened. I was the youth. 20 years old, that's the youth. And that explains why I am the way I am. Now, for all you other people that wasn't even born, you can't even see me. You can't even talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You're not formed like me. You're not formed like me. When you was 20 years old, nothing happened. What happened when you was 20 years old? Nothing. Okay? So I can explain myself. How can you explain yourself? Huh? You can't, can you? Okay. That's what I'm saying. Keep them kids out of my lane. Kids that wasn't even born when 9/11 happened. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay? You got that? All these gangsters and stuff, thugs walking around and all of this, but you don't know nothing about what's going on in your country, man. You got child marriage. You got all this stuff going on and you don't know nothing about it. Why should I respect you? And why should you be pulling up in my lane? What you here to do? What you here to say? That's what I'm saying. You ain't got nothing to say to me. I got everything to say to you. What, you pulling up for a sermon? You pulling up for me to preach to you? About how you should know, you should have known about this. Being in politics, being a gangster, you should have known. You should have been knew about this. If that's what you're here to hear, You're here to hear that? You're here to hear that part? Where you should have been knew this, big as you act and how you act like you the head honcho? Well, the head honcho don't know they got 44 states for child marriage. All these head honchos don't know that they got child marriage all throughout America. Oh, I don't deserve no respect for that. I'm talking about among real men. I ain't talking to no parasites and scavengers and snakes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I ain't talking to that. I ain't talking to them type of people. Vultures and stuff. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to real men and women with real manhood and real womanhood. And that dictates everything to them. Not pride, not no streets, not none of that. Not even their gangster life. Manhood and womanhood dictates everything to these type of individuals. You telling me I don't deserve my respect? Yeah, you think it's a gimmick. How it's a gimmick? How it's a gimmick when I'm paying the price? How it's a gimmick when your country is oppressing me for telling the truth? That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. Oh, that's the truth of the matter. Yeah, you made me the enemy based on what? You got any facts? You got any audio of the facts? You got any videos of the facts? Because we ain't going by testimonies in 2023. People change narratives, man. People change narratives and add parts and add things to create a certain narrative. We ain't going with no testimonies. We going with audio and video of what you talk about. And if you ain't got that, or you ain't got no hospital descriptions of what you talking about, then you got to kick rocks, man. You got to kick rocks. You're not taken seriously with testimonies. The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, that changed everything about how we see testimonies. If it didn't do that for you, you must be slow. Okay? The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case changed how most people in America, most people internationally, how we all see testimonies. Anybody believe in testimonies? When you seen both of them on stage and somebody was lying? Somebody was lying with a straight face. Somebody was lying, sitting up there with a straight face. And I believe it was Amber Heard. Playing the victim. Playing like something been done. Nobody don't go by no testimonies no more, bro. That ends that. That ends that. Anybody take it seriously after seeing that case? You take testimony seriously. What somebody say, send somebody to court for with testimonies. You tripping, man. You gullible. You're green. At best, you're a fool and unwise. I don't care what someone says. I'm looking at motives. I'm gonna look at the whole history of your life with that person. And I'm gonna go through all of that, and I'm gonna consider all things being said. I'm gonna listen to both parties fully before I launch any type of investigation. Before I move one step in the direction of that person, I'm going to consider that person's testimony too. I'm going to consider what they talk about. In other words, I'm going to look at both sides. Okay, that person say you jealous because your woman wanted them and lusted after them. That's a good motive. That's a good motive to try to assassinate somebody's character. If somebody else, they woman wants you. Yeah, I had a family member, my brother, his woman was lusted after me and wanted me. And that's his motives. That's his motives for making all these half-truths, whole lies, leaving out all things. I wasn't even living in the same house as that boy when I turned 18. So anything he talking about, you gonna hold me accountable and I was under 18. And ain't nothing happened to him, ain't nothing physically happened to him. That boy lost his mind on his own. Oh yeah, you could lose your mind on your own, you know. Well, he tried to go out here living this street life and he wasn't about that life and it took his mind. He started thinking he was some gangster who had people watching and everybody was watching him like he was some head honcho gangster and he ain't never sold no weight at that point. So if you ain't never sold no weight in cocaine and drugs, why everybody watching you then? Man, that boy drove himself crazy, thinking he's some gangster that he wasn't. See, listen, that is The reason why many people lose their mind. They trying to live that street life. And if you ain't built for it, it's gonna break you. And guess what? When it breaks you, it's gonna break your mind. It didn't break my mind. That's why half of y'all crazy now, thinking you some head honcho gangster in your own little world, and you ain't never been around. You ain't even been around this country big long enough or wide enough for you to be some kind of head honcho gangster like you think you are. Why somebody need to be after you for? And that's what drove him crazy. It wasn't nothing that happened in his childhood. He thought he was a gangster. And he got broke by the street stuff, and he did it himself, what makes it more crazy. Tearing up his walls in his house looking for cameras. Yeah, that's what my brother did. Tearing up his walls looking for cameras like somebody's after him. Like somebody has a reason to investigate him like that. So if you feel like somebody has to investigate you and have to do, you gonna drive yourself crazy. And you're thinking this because you think you're someone that you're not. So it's that problem right there that drove you crazy. Not something that's in your childhood. You thought you was some big head honcho gangster with no proof or evidence. Ain't been nowhere. You ain't never even left your hometown. How you a head honcho gangster ain't never left home? You local. You know any local head honcho gangsters? I don't. You got to be nationwide to be considered a head honcho. Come on, man. You can't be serious, bro. He drove himself crazy thinking he's some gangster. And you sit up there and took it as, oh, he's had child trauma. You know how white people are. He has child trauma, something in his childhood. But you overlooked the part where he over-exaggerated his street life, and that drove him crazy. Yeah. If you thinking you live a life you don't live, and you thinking everybody's watching you in a thug life, you're going to go crazy. Oh, it has the capability of doing that. For all the psychologists, you need to know that. Oh, yeah, the thug life can drive you crazy. If you got people watching you all the time, putting pressure on you all the time, and I'm going through it, and look at me. That's why I'm built for it. I'm built for it. That's the difference between me and my brother. I'm built for it. He broke in everything. Ratted on his own cousin, sent his own cousin to jail for 15 years without a chance of parole. You see me sending anybody to jail, at the end of the day, has anybody gone to jail because of me? They haven't happened. Nobody's been to jail because of me, right? You ain't never sent me to jail. You ain't never seen, there's no testimonies where I ratted on somebody for drug selling, is it? That's what we talk about. What a real rat is. Not crazy people. Because crazy people should be in jail. If you don't know the rules out here, you're crazy. If you don't live by the rules out here, I consider you crazy. Well, anything can happen to somebody that don't live by the rules out here. You must be out your mind out here playing with people without the rules. If it's a mano-a-mano situation and you playing games, hey, you deserve to be locked up. Listen, man, look, we out here on principles, bro. And if you break those principles, you need to get out the way and get off the streets, even if you're going to jail. Yeah, you need to get out the way. You in the way, man. That's how I see it. You in the way. You in love with this street life. People like that don't live long. You in love with it. Yeah, you in love. You infatuated with the street life. That's the truth. Yeah, people drove themselves crazy, and then you let them go back to their childhood talking about what happened to them as a child. When they talking about somebody else who was a child. Anything my brother talking about, I was a child too. What about that part? See, if you leave that part out, then he can create a whole narrative as if I was the same age like I am now. Like as if I was 30, 40, 50 years old. I ain't even 50 yet. That's what I'm trying to tell you when I say half truths. And even with that being said, people change the narrative and definitions of things. They change the definitions of things is what I want to say. They change the definitions of things. And they leave out the fact that you was a child yourself. How about that part? Well, you can't choose one over the other child and say, well, we go with this child over this child. Now you sound a little crazy. They both were children. So I'm going to go with this child. I'm going to go with that child. That's the part he left out. That's the part he left out. Okay? So anything he crying about, because I wasn't in the house with him after 18. I wasn't living with him after 18. After 18, I left. Right? Anything, anything really questionable, and anything that me and him went through that you would question, we were kids. So who faults a kid as an adult? Anybody faults a kid as an adult? Nobody out here doing that, is it? Are they? No one's out here holding a child to an adult standard of living, are they? Unless that person just killed it, like almost killed the person. But other than that, no true torture or no true crazy stuff where it's torture and continuous torture and crazy stuff, right? So why would you hold that person, a child, to that adult standard if that's not the situation? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So you've been played, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. You've been played by somebody that was salty, that his wife, my brother's wife, was lusting after me and was feeling me and liked me. That's what the whole motive is. Because I received information from my own family that there was a rumor in my family that me and his wife had sex. So how me and his wife have sex? He was jealous. He was paranoid. He thought that happened. When I had two women at the time. When I was in between two women. On the other side of town, living in East Charlotte, him and his wife living in West Charlotte. How I catch buses and come across town and screw your wife? That's how paranoid the person was. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show you. So he was the only one that could have created that narrative because they were too isolated from the rest of the family. How the rest of the family know what I was doing with his wife when they don't even come over his house? They couldn't have possibly knew because he don't invite nobody in his world. They isolated from everybody. So how they know? How did it get to my family? That my family is telling me this now. How's the rumor in the family when another family member is telling me this? Because he created that rumor. He was the one going around to how they tell it, how they find out, how they know this. No, it was them. It was him going around telling them that. He was going around telling people in our family secretly that I had sex with his wife. And it was all because she was lusting after me and she was feeling me. That happened July 4th, 2010 at a 4th of July party. Wasn't my fault. She was feeling me in front of everybody. Moaning, talking about, in front of everybody. And it was undeniable. Everybody heard. I'm pretty sure everybody heard. Now that's the facts. So see, that's how you've been bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't feel right. And you feel like you're on a dummy mission. You feel like you fake. You know why? Because you're going with a fake man's mission. That's why I'm real. See how real my situation look? See how my karma is good and how your karma is bad? You ain't paying attention, are you? Because you've been played, man. You've been played. People told you different definitions of what happened and switched around things and didn't tell you obvious things like a person is a child. That changes everything. Well, that's a good excuse for doing stuff. Okay, the person is a child. That's a very good excuse. Because that means that person doesn't have a developed mind as an adult and shouldn't be held responsible for thinking as an adult. That's a very good excuse. In fact, that's an excuse that lets it all get thrown out. Well, if somebody else is an adult, is a child, that throws out everything. Well, you can't say the person is a predator as a child. You can't say the person is really a bad person as a child. That's what I'm saying. You demonize even children. Look at you. But yet you got 44 states with child marriage. That's what I'm saying. You think you're serving justice and you're not. You think you got street justice going on and you don't. Well, how you got street justice going on and you got 44 states with child marriage? That's a 7 hour. You talking about street justice. I'm talking about 44 states with child marriage on your streets of street justice. On your streets of street justice. On Justice Avenue. On Street Justice Avenue, if you will. On Street Justice Boulevard, if you will. On Street Justice Boulevard or Street Justice City, you got 44 states with child marriage. That's a 7 hour. A whoa. Yeah, listen, I shut down everything, bro. That's what the big dogs do. I shut it all down. Yeah, I brought the big guns out just for you. When you playing around me, what you expect me to do? You going by principles we know nobody goes by. See, we go by evidence. That's what we do in the real world. We go by evidence, audio, and videos in this time and day. If you ain't got no evidence, audios, and videos, and you ain't got no hospital records, you ain't got nothing going on, all you got is testimonies, and then we wonder why you held on to that testimony so long and you had this ongoing relationship with people. That's what I look at. You got this ongoing relationship with this person. You living with them, sleeping with them, everything. They living in your house and everything. That's what it was with my brother. I'm living with him. Not to mention, I went to see his son born in the hospital. I went to see my brother's son born in the hospital. Make it make sense. That's the evidence of everything. Okay, if I victimized you, why are you coming inviting me to see your son at the hospital? Would you do that? So if you had a child and you consider somebody a predator or a pervert or something like that, why would you invite them to the hospital to see your infant son born from your wife? Anybody would do that? That's the smoking gun evidence that you overlooked. Boom. That shows the real definition of our relationship. You've been played, bro. You've been played. You've been played. And then after I seen his son born in the hospital, then we lived together. After I seen his son born in the hospital, I lived at his house. Yeah, he ain't telling you that part, is he? And so, see, now you've been played. You've been played because he was jealous. He was jealous that he couldn't even live with himself, that his wife wanted me in a sexual way. You know, it's very hurtful, humiliating even. But it's not my fault. I didn't do nothing to turn her on necessarily. Didn't mean to turn you on. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, whoa. I didn't mean to turn you on. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, whoa. I didn't mean to turn you on. Yeah, it ain't my fault, buddy. That's why they make songs for it. Didn't mean to turn you on. Think I'll listen to that after this. Yeah, that's the truth of the matter. So you've been played. Now you can accept that reality. What I'm telling you, now you finally hear my part of the story. Now you finally hear my side of the story. Now you see you've been played. Put two and two together. I ain't got no problem getting no woman. I ain't never had no problem getting no woman. Still got it going on even now. Put two and two together. Look at his situation. Can't keep one, can he? Can't keep no woman, can he? Look at me. I ain't got no problem with getting one. Never have, never will. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's why I don't respect you as a community, as a whole community of America. I don't got no respect for you. Because you should know better. Everybody act like they know the streets, they know what's going on, they know about the player haters, they know about real family affairs and politics, but you showed yourself to be novices and amateurs. At best, at your best efforts. You still, even with fighting me, you still looking like a novice. And you still look like an amateur. At your best shots. I took your best shots and you look like amateurs. You couldn't even knock me off my feet. I took your punches and you couldn't even beat me. You couldn't even knock me out. Man, come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, man. You know what I'm saying? You just can't accept the fact that it's time to give up the ghost, man. It's time to go to the graveyard, America. Dun, 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 dun. Time to go to the graveyard, man. Time to give up the ghost. Time to make your body shiver. Listen, you shouldn't have listened. You should have listened to both sides. You should have asked questions. If I wasn't naturally talking about it, you should have asked somebody to ask some questions. That's what you should have did. But you didn't. You didn't. You just looked at me and felt that he was right, I guess. Or he was telling the truth as it was, I guess. Nah, bro. Hey, if you're leaving out important information, you're leaving out important information. That changes everything. No one cares what a child does to this degree, right? If somebody did something as a child, you ain't going after nobody, no person about something they did as a child. To that degree. No, you're not. You've been lied to. He told you different definitions of what happened. He didn't tell you the part. I'm pretty sure he didn't tell you I was a child, did he? I'm pretty sure he didn't tell you that, did he? He acting like somebody wronged him so bad, like something abnormal something that's abnormal for the human experience happened to him. Kids experiment. Kids do things. Kids can be cruel at times. This is part of the real world that some people never lived in because they lived in a fake world their whole life. So when you start talking about real life, you lose them. When I talk about these real things in real life, you feel me. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, you did something that you're not proud of. You did things that you're not, that you feel is wrong. Because you're human. I don't need to know your whole life story. I know you being human, most of you, especially Americans, on the average, have done something questionable. Even sexually, you have done something questionable. I know you have. So you're holding me to a higher standard. I'm calling it like it is, like right there. You holding me to a higher standard when I know for a fact that more than half of these people that's in America have done something sexually questionable in their life that they're not proud of. And they're taking it to the grave. They're taking it to the grave. And you ain't gonna tell nobody what you did. But know that I know better as an intelligent human being. Me being human, I know that you have something that you've done questionable that you ain't telling nobody about. That it might not be everybody, but it's more than enough of you. It's half of you, more than half of you. And you know how I know? Because I've dated many women. They have had stuff happen to them. You don't see them going crying a river. I've dated many women that had something happen to them sexually. And I concluded that most humans, from my own experiences with women and people, that most humans have had something happen to them sexually that's questionable. But you take and listen to somebody like it's abnormal, like the rest of us ain't been through nothing. You let that person use that as a convenience in their history, something that happens to all of us, to most of us. You let him take that part out that's normal. Psychologists would tell you that. Pretty sure they will. And you let him doctor that up and had you out here on a wild goose chase. That's what I'm saying. I don't have no respect for you. I don't have no respect to give. Especially when these gangsters and thugs walking around with 44 states with child marriage all around them, and you don't hear them talking about none of that, do you? But you trying to put me in your politics. You can't be serious. You can't be serious, bro. I don't take that seriously. And ain't none of us done nothing worse than 44 states with child marriage. You marrying a child as a grown man, you actually going through with it. The American government allows you to do that? Wow, bro. The American government allows you to marry children. It's a wake-up call, man. They try to demonize everybody and try to make everybody look like Freddy Krueger. The Freddy Krueger person or people are the politicians that pass laws that allows adults to marry children right here in America. There goes your Freddy Krueger, buddy. You can't be serious. Ain't nobody worse than that. Ain't nobody worse, bro. Ain't nobody worse than that. I don't care how you paint it. You can paint a million pictures. You can put a million different coats of paint on a person. You can put a million different coats of paint. And when you get done painting, ain't nothing worse than that portrait of 44 states with child marriage across America. That's the government passing that, by the way. That's not street people. That's not wayward men in your country. That's not wayward women in your country. That is the government passing these laws. And they passed the last child marriage law 3 years ago. Just in case you think it's like some old stuff that no one thinks like again, or like no one thinks like that no more. How come they just passed the last child marriage law 3 years ago? And that's where we got you. Because it would have been one thing if these were old laws, right? It would have been one thing you could say, oh, okay, all these people, the politicians in the community, all of them that passed these laws, they gone. Even the community, all of them gone. The government that passed these laws are gone. But you can't say that when they passed these laws 3 years ago. That destroys that narrative. When they passed the last child marriage law 3 years ago, your community that was here, the community that was present when they passed them laws, are still here. The community and the government and the politicians that passed those laws, those people are still here. So there you have it. There you have it. That's pedophilia, because they know that the community that is here and present has nothing to do with that. So what's the definition of it then? You can't say it's child marriage because no one agrees with it. No one agrees with this at all. So it has to be pedophilia, because no one agrees with that format or that perspective on children being with adults. So that's a Jedi mind trick of calling it a child marriage. If people agree with that format, then even if it's wrong, you could say it's that. You can't say it's that when no one agrees with that. Everyone will feel that that's pedophilia, right or wrong. Everyone will feel that way. Well, if a man marries a child, what do you feel that is? What's the real definition of that? The real definition is an adult with a child, which means the adult has sexual desire for the child, which is the definition of a pedophile. The definition of a pedophile is an adult that has sexual desire for children. That's the definition. I didn't make it up. That's the definition. The definition of a pedophile is an adult, first an adult, not a child, having sexual desire for another child. An adult that has sexual desire for a child. That's the definition. So what is a child marriage? What is that then? That's an adult that has sexual desire for a child, which is pedophilia. Bottom line, buddy. See, you like to go out to different styles of pedophilia. Ooh, now I'm gonna do a video about this. You like to go around chasing out the different styles of pedophilia. You didn't go after the Michael Jackson version, did you? Ooh. Oh, you went after the R. Kelly version, but you didn't go after the Michael Jackson version. That's the 7 Owl. Oh, y'all still love Michael Jackson. Man, what grown man sleep with children with the boundaries that men have? It's too questionable. Even if he didn't do nothing, it's too questionable. You ain't care nothing about that style of pedophilia, did you? You ain't care nothing about that, did you? You don't care nothing about the American government style of pedophilia, do you? Oh, you know what kind of pedophilia you like to go out? The wayward, strange, weirdo, bum-looking person. Ooh. Yeah, the black people preferably. Non-white people preferably for white racist people. Oh yeah, that's what you like to go after. See, you go after a certain style of pedophilia. I'm showing you they got 44 states with child marriage in your government. And you know why you ain't going after that? Because the American government in your mind could never be a style of pedophilia. The American government in your mind could never be pedophiles. You subconsciously think it can be explained. Then explain it. You subconsciously, half of you subconsciously, because of this holy image that you have of the American government, you think there's some way to explain it. Then explain it then. Explain it then. That's what I've been waiting for you to do. That's what I've been waiting for all your politicians and all your people to do. I've been waiting for you to explain that reality. Huh? You can't explain it, can you? But in your subconscious, people that understand the subconscious, you ain't doing nothing about it because you feel like it's a reason. It's a legitimate reason they did that, don't you? You feel like it's a reason they did that. You feel like it's some way justified, don't you? Even when it comes to children being with adults, you feel that the American government somehow is justified. Well, if you didn't, why you ain't raising hell? Huh? Because that's what people in prison would do. Yeah, they more thorough than all of y'all out here, you civilians out here. Let's go talk to these prisoners in prison right now. Tell them 44 states got child marriage in America. Bruh, ain't nobody gonna be playing no games. Ain't no real thugs and gangsters gonna be playing these games. It ain't none but these people on the streets playing these games. And half of them ain't no real thugs and gangsters. Let's go talk to the people that actually got crimes. Let's go talk to them. Let's go talk to real criminals and see how they feel with 44 states with child marriage. Let's see how they feel about that. Police acting nonchalant about it too. I talked to a police about it. He talking about he hope it changes. He hopes it changes. That's an understatement. You should quit your job because of it. How can you enforce laws and they marrying children? Well, I got to feed my family. Well, you got to find another way, bro. That ain't an option. It ain't an option to work for someone that marries children and you're law enforcement. You're enforcing their laws, the same system that marries children, but you're enforcing their other laws. You're locking up perverts while they got 44 states with child marriage. Nah, you quit that job, bro. That's too much of a contradiction. But yet here you are. Talk about we hope it change. Yeah. See, like I said, you go after different styles. Now that same policeman, he'll go after a pedophile style though, that is not the government. He'll go after that. Some wayward weirdo type person. Oh yeah, he like that type. They like that type of pedophile. But when I tell you the politicians are pedophiles, you don't go after that, do you? Because it's holy. Back to the subconscious. In your subconscious, it's holy. They're holy to you. Ain't none of them talking about they Christians. Joe Biden said he was a Catholic. The ones notorious for molesting children. Hey, I'm just being 100. That's not the Christians. That's the Catholics, buddy. And while we're talking about it, let me say that clearly. For all the Americans that have demonized all religions for pedophilia, let's get that understood. Right here, right now, let's get that understood. It was the Catholics that did all that child molesting in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s and all of that. In the 90s even. That was the Catholics specifically. Now, am I saying other religions did things, anything that's human, anything that has human in it is going to do all sins. That's common sense. It's unfortunate, but it's common sense. But who was notorious for this was the Catholics. Can we settle on that? Can we settle on the fact that it was not the Christians? It was not the Muslims. It was not the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was not the Mormons. Let's settle on the fact who it specifically was. Let's settle on the fact of who it specifically was. It was the Catholics. Okay? That's who did it. It wasn't everybody. It wasn't everybody. Okay? That's why I tell people, I'm not racist, I'm Pacific. If it's you that's doing it, it's you that's doing it. If white Americans make up most of the registered sex offenders, I'm being specific. Most of the registered sex offenders are white Americans. That's specific. That's not racist. It's specific. Right or wrong? See, people don't like it when you're Pacific. I'm going to do a video on that. Yeah, you don't like it when I'm Pacific about it, do you? When I show you who really did it. When I showed you who really doing it. The Catholics and the white people. Right here in America. Yeah, you don't like it when I'm Pacific, do you? When I tell you that 44 states child marriage laws were passed not by black people. So black people passed child marriage laws. When you barely got politicians of that rank and power that's black. So it was Asian people that passed the 44 states with child marriage laws. So it wasn't the Asians, it wasn't the blacks. So who was it then? I'm being specific. Tell me who it was then. So black people passed the child marriage laws. You think it was a whole bunch of black politicians in America that passed the child marriage laws? That's ridiculous. You think that it was a whole bunch of Asian politicians that passed child marriage laws when you barely even see Asian Americans in politics? Do you see a whole bunch of Asian Americans in politics? So how was it Asian American politicians that passed child marriage laws then? Safe to say, with more than half of the American politicians being white Americans, it's safe to say that it was basically white America that passed child marriage laws here in America. See, the white Americans are quick to say it's their country until it comes to issues like this. Now it's not your country. Now you don't know why that happened. Yeah, you quick to say it's your country. It's your country with this part too. It's your country. It's your country on this part too, buddy. Who you think you're fooling? You can't do no Jedi mind tricks on me. You've been owning the country. You've been running the country. Then all of a sudden, you don't know how these 44 state child marriage laws got passed. All of a sudden, you don't know how that happened. But you running the country. You proud to say it's your country, but you don't know how this happened. Make it make sense, bruh. Make it make sense. And you ain't got nobody that can face me and have a real conversation about it, do you? Who can have a conversation about it? Donald Trump can't. They just passed the last child marriage law under the Trump administration. Big as his mouth is, he ain't said nothing about it, has he? All them rallies that he holding, you ain't heard him talk about no child marriage laws passed under his administration, now did you? Not one time, did you? You ain't hear him talk nothing about no child marriage laws that were passed under his administration 3 years ago. July 1st, 2019, Donald Trump was in office. How come, even if he didn't pass the law, how come he didn't say nothing about it? How come he came to the White House, left the White House without talking about it, and still didn't say nothing about it? If he was passionate about this, why you ain't saying nothing about it now? Oh, it's still there. It's still there. Did you hear Donald Trump say anything about it? I'm pretty sure as the president, he got some kind of memo or email about these child marriage laws. I'm pretty sure. That was passed July 1st, 2019. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump got some type of memo or some email. Oh, you don't think the president gets emails about laws that's passed under his administration? So it's safe to say under any administration, the present administration gets memos or emails or some type of bulletins about any laws that's passed. Any laws that's passed, the present administration, whoever it may be, are going to get notifications of some type about the child marriage, about the laws that's passed. About any laws that's passed. The present administration is going to get some type of notification about any laws that's passed. So how come with the last child marriage law that was passed under the Trump administration, right? How come Donald Trump didn't, why you telling me he ain't getting no notification? Why are you trying to make it seem like he don't know nothing about it? Oh, how he don't know nothing about it? So he do know something about it, don't he? Because every administration gets some type of notification. So he knows about this. We can settle on that, right? There is no way that the president, the commander-in-chief, have laws that's passed under his administration he don't know nothing about. Come on now. On that level now, where it's child marriage, he don't know nothing about child marriage laws passed under his administration. He don't know nothing about that. That's what you're telling me. You want me to believe he knew nothing about it? That Donald Trump knew nothing about the last child marriage law passed in America under his administration. You telling me he don't know nothing about it? That's what you're trying to get me to believe. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. How screwed up this whole situation really is. And you're trivializing it, and you're trying to make it a minute situation, and it's not. You're trying to make it a minute situation, and it's not a minute situation. Okay? You got that part? Good. I hope you do. These gangsters out here and these thugs out here think they in my lane. Now you see why they ain't. Can they talk that language that I just showed you? Can they tell you, inform you like that? Then they don't need to be here. You need to stop trying to put them in my lane, being racist, because you think I'm black. That gangsters is we two peas in the pod. Well, he's black. Gangsters and thugs are two peas in the pod with him. That's racist. They don't know me. I'm not out there hustling with them. You ain't seen me sell no drugs. Last time I sold some cocaine, it was 8 years ago. Huh? Last time. Right? That's the last time somebody even seen me with that in my possession. Eight years ago. I haven't had cocaine in my hand in 8 years. Okay? So I'm not selling no drugs. I'm not doing anything for them to be in my lane. That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm not doing anything for them to be in my lane, bro. It's nothing that I'm doing for them to be in my lane. That's what I'm trying to show you. It's racist because they in my politics. Why? Because I'm black, right? That's the only reason. That's the common denominator, right? That's the common denominator. Other than that, why they here? We ain't got nothing in common. They don't talk my language. We don't talk each other's language. I'm not in your lane. I'm not out there hustling weight. I'm not selling any drugs, right? So why are you in my lane then? That's why I got to get you out my lane, bro. See, that's that black ignorance, man. You know what I'm saying? You think you see somebody that's big, you think you need to pull up because you big, but you ain't big in my lane. In fact, you a junior in my lane. You my son in my lane. You got that part? Where you're a son in my lane. Yeah, I know you may not like it, but you are. Well, you ain't no professional over here. You listen, you ain't no head honcho over here. Man, come on, man. You don't know nothing about this. That's what I'm saying. And this changes everything. And what you changing? You changing nothing. So who's more important? You selling drugs, you as a head honcho, or me? I'm changing everything. What you changing? So whose life is really more valuable? Whose life is more really valuable? Mine or yours? That's what I'm saying. You don't want to make it a me and you situation. Because at the end of the day, you're not more valuable than me. Which means somebody will see what I'm talking about and kill you without me even having anything to do with it. I won't even have nothing to do with it. Because they see like you being ignorant. That's what they see. You being an ignorant person. Right? Proving them right. That you're an ignorant person. And that this person is telling the truth. And why in the world is you in his lane? Y'all in two different worlds. Y'all in two different worlds. Why are you in his lane? Which makes it seem like you're more ignorant, even more ignorant. Ain't got nothing to do with you at all. This man should be talking about all this. This man should be. He's spiritual. He's a Christian. He proved it. Well, when the last time you went on a 7-day fast? When you didn't eat for a week for God? Okay, he proved it. Shit, ain't nobody, and listen, ain't nobody going hungry for a week. Under no circumstances. Under no circumstances. Nah, nobody will go that far, buddy. Maybe a day, maybe a couple days. Ain't nobody going no 7 days without eating, man. If they ain't no real Christian. A whole week, a whole full week, from Monday to Monday. That's what I'm saying, man. I already proved who I am. And if you ain't paying attention, that's your fault. If you ignoring it, that's your fault. It ain't my fault. Hey, God gave us ears to hear and eyes to see. Bottom line, God gave us eyes to see and ears to hear. And if you ain't using your ears to hear and you ain't using your eyes to see, ain't nobody's fault but yours. It ain't God's fault. You can't say it's God's fault. He gave you eyes to see and ears to hear. That's what he gave it to you. That's what he gave them to you for. You've been listening to all the foolishness and dumb stuff with your ears. You've been seeing, you've been being attentive with your eyes on all the foolishness. But when I sit here and tell you in plain English, you ain't listening. Yeah, you hear me, but you ain't listening. And that's your fault. That ain't my fault. You know, that's not my fault. Just tell them gangsters to stay out of my lane, man. Just tell them to stop looking for respect that they don't deserve. They don't deserve it. Can we settle on that? Because you got all the black on black crime, you got all this crime in the whole thug world, besides black people, all the gangsters and thugs, all these unnecessary killings, and y'all ain't put no politics on it. Y'all ain't raising the standard on putting pressure on people that kill innocent children. You ain't put no pressure on that. You ain't changing the standards concerning that. You're not doing that. So that's according to your world. Why don't you go work on that? Changing the standard for what happens to people that kill innocent children. Why don't you go in your community, in your politics, in your lane, and change that? Why don't you do that part before you think you in my lane, where I'm talking about 44 states with child marriage, bro, and you over there, you got work to do in your lane and ain't doing it, but you over here doing something for me or doing something in this lane. You must be out your mind, bro. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who you are, man. Somebody gonna see you as the problem. So keep watching. Keep going. Keep seeing this go on. Eventually, that's how people gonna see it, bro. And they gonna handle you. I know. Tables turned. And you didn't think it could happen. It turned. Now they see you as the problem. That's for all the Freemasons, the police Freemasons, all the secret societies, Illuminati and Freemasons. They see you as the problem. Well, what you doing? All you talking about is he's the king or this and that and third, and people gonna read between the lines. You doing that to save your life. You kissing my butt to save your life. That's how you beg. I say like Go-Go on Kill Bill. Is that how you beg? Is that how you beg for your life? By calling me a king. Do y'all see any money? Do y'all see any throne? Then kill those people, man. I'm letting God do it. I'm letting God do it. I'm letting God kill those people because they doing that to save their lives. Because now you see I'm the truth, and that would mean their death sentence, right or wrong. So they talking about kings so they can save their lives, so they can pacify you. Don't believe that. Anybody that's calling me king, that's the enemy. I put it like that. God will take care of them. They are the enemy. Anybody saying king, they trying to save their own lives. That's what it is. That's all it is. A bulletproof vest that isn't going to hold up to try to save their lives. That's what it is. That's all they trying to do. Talking about king. They've been saying that. Go check my Facebook. I got evidence that they've been saying that for 3 years. 3 years. That's a 3. Not 3 months. They've been saying that since 2019 before COVID. Yeah, that's over, bro. We ain't listen, man. I ain't in college. You try to play that 4-year stuff with me, you're going to be dead. God's going to do it, man. God's going to get that done. In fact, y'all don't got to do nothing. Y'all ain't got to kill nobody. God's going to get rid of that. But that's the enemy. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. God's going to get that done. Because they sitting around saying king deceiving you. First one-on-one in war is deception. War is all about deception. Ask yourself, they keep calling him a king, why ain't no money? Why they ain't threw him no type of significant money? No nothing. No throne, no real influence. They're utilizing that for their own purposes. That's what you got to understand. They're making money off of that. And that's why you should want them dead. They're making money off of that, and they was the enemy, and now they're trying to capitalize off of it. Yeah, they think they slick. They think they're businessmen. They think they have ways to capitalize, but they losing. Because every day they play with me is a death sentence. They ain't got me in no program. They ain't got me in none of the stuff. I done flipped this whole situation around. I done stopped and opened up shop. Now they slaves to the destruction that they're going to get. They slaves in warfare, man. All of them. That's the real reality. You're all slaves in warfare now. That's what it is. And you listen, that's what it is. You can sit up and play fantasy football in your mind thinking you're doing something to me and thinking I'm some whatever, prostitute or whatever, all this kind of other crazy stuff they don't say. King of the earth, prostitute one day, all this other crazy stuff. Man, listen, man. Y'all are slaves of warfare. That's what you are, buddy. How about that part? Where you're slaves of war. Because that's what's going on. You got more strains of COVID, people going crazy everywhere you look. Your president's under fire. You can't be serious. But yet I'm a prostitute. Make it make sense, bro. Yeah, you want to degrade me, but you can't. Because the results are too real and high ranking. Now, aren't they? My results are too high ranking for you to play with me, buddy, and call me some prostitute or some person in the program or some candidate and any other name, king of the earth foolishness. Listen, man, the results are too real, bro. The results are too real. They realer than you. The results that we're bringing, the kingdom of God is bringing, is realer than your whole life. Can't be serious. These results are realer than your whole existence. Your whole existence is a lie. The whole thing. Can't be serious. Or it's pathetic. Which one? Can't be serious. I'm dead serious. Serious as these 44 states with child marriage. Serious as the age of consent being under 18 in 40 states in America. Those are two different laws, by the way. And you passed the third last law, child marriage law, July 1st, 2019. Yeah. Man, you can't be serious thinking you in my lane. Can't be serious, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Save all that hip-hop foolishness for somebody that love it, man. There's plenty of people who enjoy a rap battle or even rap politics where they going back and forth with different rappers and stuff. There's people who stage stuff like that. They stage it. They actually stage it for publicity and promotion. Go out. There's people that love it, man. This ain't your lane, bro. This ain't drama queen politics over here. This isn't sipping tea politics. This is not sipping tea politics, bro. This tea gonna burn your tongue off. You know how you drink some tea and it's too hot? That's what you're gonna walk away with. You're gonna walk away with a burnt tongue trying to drink this tea. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna walk away with a burnt tongue. Talking about and burnt tongue burnt all day. Talking about, I wish I wouldn't have did that. That's what you're gonna walk away with. A burnt tongue trying to sip this tea. Because anybody involved, all you chicken eating people that like to get involved and play politics and sit back and eat chicken and talk about what's going on, we gonna get you too. That's all the spectators and speculators. We gonna get you too. Listen, you're a grown man and woman. You shouldn't have nothing to do with no politics that ain't got nothing to do with you. What, you in high school or something? You still in high school? And then you wonder why they treat us like boys and girls. You act like you in high school. You in a fully grown man's politics of life. Yeah, it's repercussions for somebody who realizes that. It's repercussions for you because when someone realizes that. It should be, and it usually always going to be. That's why the war don't ever stop. That's why violence don't ever stop. It never stops. Because it's people that sit back and eat chicken and be in other people's business. You sit back in the three-piece and all in somebody else's business, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that ain't holding up, bro. In 2023, that ain't holding up. And that's why every curse that I send out, all of that is sticking. All of it sticking. You're going to burn your tongue on sipping this tea. You're going to burn your tongue off. You're going to burn your tongue off. Out here flattering yourself. Out here flattering yourself. When you get thinking like me, people like me want your children. Man, once you stop flattering those children, I don't care if they're 16, 17, 14, or whatever age they are. If they children, once you stop flattering them children, I don't care what they look like. Once you stop flattering those children, fully grown men, we don't want no children. But guess who do? Your country with 44 states with child marriage, don't you go to them? They want them. That's what they want. That's what 44 states in your country want. Yeah, we go by real life. I got a fully grown woman over here. I don't think I want your child, buddy. I don't think I'm attracted or sexually attracted to your children. I think it's your country that has 44 states with child marriage in America. I think it's y'all. Well, I got the evidence to prove it. I don't need hunches. I don't need intuition. I don't need none of that. I don't need no strong vibration. Guess what I got? I got strong 44 states with child marriage. That's what I got. I got strong 44 states with child marriage in America. That's what I got, buddy. I don't need nothing else. You need everything and got nothing. You in bad shape, buddy. You in bad shape, because listen, all you got in your hands is 44 states with child marriage. That's all you got in your hands. Yeah, that's part of your sipping tea. That's why it's going to burn your tongue. That's a 7 hour. You know why it's going to burn your tongue? Because when you get to the bottom of that cup of tea, you're going to realize they got 44 states with child marriage. That's a 7 hour. They got 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, keep on sipping that tea. Because when you get to the bottom, you got an unpleasant surprise, buddy. You got an unpleasant surprise. You ain't gonna like what's at the bottom of that cup of tea, buddy. When all of y'all didn't know that they got 44 states with child marriage in your country. That's for all you Instagram people, all you Facebook, TikTok, YouTube people, your whole social internet community. Y'all have 44 states with child marriage. That's what you got going on. Yeah, let's talk about it. That's what you got, whether you like it or you don't like it. Did I ask you, did you like it or not? Yeah, this is the part of the tea you got to sip that's going to burn your tongue off. Yeah, this tea going to burn your tongue. You want to sit around and eat chicken and talk about something? Let's talk about this 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, let's talk about that while you eating your three-piece. While you eating your chicken box, let's talk about this child marriage you got going. Yeah, you don't want to talk about that, do you? Yeah, you want to talk about something that ain't even real. You want to talk about something that ain't got no narrative to it because you halfway an elf. Well, elves like to talk about stuff that's not real. Fairyland stuff. I thought y'all was thugs and gangsters. Thugs and gangsters like to talk about reality last time I checked. They like to talk about assets and liabilities. Boom, that's a 7 hour. Yeah, real thugs like to talk about assets and liabilities. Real gangsters like to talk about assets and liabilities. Yeah, let's talk about the liability of 44 states with child marriage. Let's talk about that liability. Yeah, and how I need my assets and how he needs his assets. Yeah, I need my assets for that liability, big baby. Well, you went around the whole country talking about craziness, talking about pedophilia, and here you are, past your last child marriage law 3 years ago. Yeah, I need my assets, buddy. I need my assets. That's what I need, my assets, man. That's what I need. Yeah, you got liabilities going on. America ain't got nothing but liabilities. Your whole president is a liability. Well, look, let's review the facts here. The facts are Joe Biden prematurely pulled the troops out of Afghanistan And as a result, the Taliban is now back on top of the government. Oh, you didn't know that? They ain't say that in plain English like they needed to, did they? Let me say it again in plain English. President Joe Biden pulled the troops, the American troops, out of Afghanistan prematurely. These troops were stationed there, and other troops have been stationed there since 9/11, since September 9/11, the attacks on the trade centers here in New York City. They have been stationed there from the American government since then, making sure that the terrorists are not inside the government or on top of the government or controlling the government. When Joe Biden pulled the troops out in 2021, when he pulled those troops out, the Taliban, in a cartoonish manner, got right back on top of the government. Just like that. Right back on top of the government. And they've been killing over there. They've been controlling things over there, stopping women from going to school, I think. They've been doing all kinds of things. And who's to blame? Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the whole one to blame, buddy. He was advised not to do so, and he did so. That's a whole liability. Now you find out he got documents, questionable documents. Even if those documents doesn't come out questionable or that they are incriminating, he still pulled the troops out prematurely, and now in Afghanistan, and the Taliban is back on top in the Afghanistan government. That's the reason why he ain't gonna get another term, right there. That alone. You don't need no weak president trying to pull troops out so he can get political points. He did it to impress you. He did it to show he was doing something, to do something. He did it as a move to do something, to impress you. That's what he did it for. Well, you tell me what other reason. Is no outward sign that it's time to do it? Obviously not. Well, let's look at it like this. It obviously was not the time to do it. That's the bottom line. So he's proven to be incompetent as a president. Maybe he's competent in other places, in other areas, but as a president, he has proven to be incompetent. That's what we talking about. That's all we talking about. We don't care nothing about his personal life. Do you? I don't care nothing about that. Okay? So look at it for what it is, man. Even Joe Biden is a liability. Okay? Gangsters and thugs, all they do is talk about assets and liabilities. I need to do a video on that. But you ain't talking about this liability of 44 states with child marriage now, are you? Yeah, it's time for you to get involved too, buddy. Yeah, I know you've been sitting back watching. Yeah, I need you to watch this part too. Well, they got 44 states with child marriage in your country. Listen, man, we ain't letting up. We ain't letting up till the bottom fall out. We ain't letting up till the bottom falls out of this situation. Okay? When that bottom fall out, boom. Everything collapses, then we good. Okay, you don't play with fully grown spiritual soldiers, man. In the kingdom of God, you don't do it. It's unheard of. Now you see what's up. Now you see there ain't no games being played when it comes to the kingdom of God. I told y'all, we worse than the mafia. We worse than the devil. Who's more powerful, God or the devil? Who's more powerful, God or the devil? There ain't no trick question. It's easy. God is the most high. God is the most powerful. Playing with us then, therefore, is worse than playing with the devil. Oh, yeah, you didn't realize that part. That's why you got the results that you got. That's a 7 hour. That's why you got the results that you got. Because playing with us is worse than playing with the devil, buddy. Yeah, they didn't tell you that part, did they? They told you we were church people. Oh, they didn't tell you the part where messing with us is worse than messing with the devil, ain't it? They didn't tell you that part, did they? They didn't tell you where messing with us is worse than messing with the devil. They didn't tell you that part, did they? Oh yeah, that's why your country in the shape it's in now. You explain it any other way. Can you explain it any other way? Well, all of this is happening all at once. Can you explain it? Can you make it make sense? You can't, can you? I can. They play with God's people. They gang stalk these secret societies, Freemasons, and the Freemason police and Illuminati. They all gang stalked and played with Christians. And now this is why you have plagues that come from God in your communities. You have them to think. The Freemason police, the Freemasons, and the secret societies, and portions of the military, and portions of the black community too. And portions of the Mexican community too. Yeah, the Mexicans were involved too. Yeah, we can't leave them out. They playing games too. Listen, man. We talking equality. One thing about my enemies, I don't care if you're black or white. One thing about my enemies, I don't care if you're black or white. I don't care what color you are if you're my enemy, big baby. Playing no games. These gangsters gotta realize it's something higher than you. It's a higher level award than you got. I don't care about the sophistication of it. I don't care how gruesome. I don't care how thuggish and savages you are. God has something to shut you all down. And that's where my faith is. I know, I trust in my God. He got something to shut you all down. All that money you passing around trying to put on my head, God got something to shut all that down. That's all you need to know, buddy. That's all you need to know.